What is up? What's up? YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you guys are watching this video at. Thank you guys for checking out Dolphin Fan Voices podcast. We're about like 20 something minutes late. I had to make a quick run to the grocery store. So I apologize for my lateness. I am terrible as far as being prompt and on time for these shows. But we're here now. We're here now. So if you guys are watching, please go ahead and share this video because there's a lot to talk about. So before we get started, let's go ahead and jump off with our introductions. I expect Jay to jump in here in just a moment. I guess he's watching some film. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, man?
Yep, this is Ron Hyatt. I'm out in California. I was born a Dolphins fan. Gonna die a Dolphins fan. I enjoy making fun of the local 49ers Raiders fans when I can. Win or lose, I rep the Dolphins no matter what.
And of course, my name is Isaiah. I was born and raised a Dolphin fan, and I'm gonna die a Dolphin fan. I grew up across the pond from Lake Lucerne, from Joe Robbie Stadium. Sorry, Lake Lucerne. I'm a Florida native. Recently moved out to Atlanta about 2.5 years ago. I love my hometown, but there was a lot more money to be made here, and that is the reason why I am here. But I will never be a goddamn Falcons fan, and don't ever ask me that shit because that's pure disrespect. Anyway, a lot to talk about, man. I guess we can first start off with recapping the Dolphins versus the Jets game. One hell of a messy game for the Dolphins. We were able to barely escape with a victory with our offense pretty much doing nothing, but the defense looked decent. What did you think about that game, man?
Yeah, it had me nervous. I was watching your feed of it on your new account, and it was interesting. I was getting hollered at in the comment section because I was so negative because the game just had me just pissed off watching how slow our offense was. Our offensive line crap, but our defense, yeah, you were right. Our defense back to playing good like they were at the beginning of the year, but man, our offense, dude, is trash.
It's disheartening to me to sit there and watch this team not utilize the weapons that it has. If you look, I posted a picture of the stat line for some of our skilled players, and the times that they touched the football was absolutely abysmal. I think Kenyon Drake got like 3 carries in that game. Um, Kenny Stills caught like 1 pass. I don't think Devontae Parker was he even targeted in that game.
Yeah, he was targeted, I think, 3 times. He caught one. The other one he was targeted, he was wide fucking open. And Brock Osweiler threw it like behind him and kind of low. Even with his catch radius, he couldn't reach it. Jakeem only got 1 target. They considered 2 targets, but Brock was just throwing it out of bounds, and he was near the area, so they credited that as a target. But Jakeem only got 1 target. Stills only got, I think, 2 targets, but 1 catch.
Yep.
And Devontae had Danny Amendola had 7 targets and I think 5 catches. And then Drake had 6 targets and like 5 catches.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy.
What's going on, Jay?
Hey, what's up, bro? How are you?
Doing
What's
all
up,
right?
Jay?
Nothing much, bro. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing pretty good. Hey, we were discussing the Dolphins versus Jets game. What is your opinion? How did you feel about that Dolphin versus Jets game this past Sunday?
Well, listen, that Dolphins versus Jet game was a complete snooze fest. I mean, you would have been more entertained watching ants playing dirt. I mean, it was completely god awful. But we came away with the win. We came away with the win, and the defense looked a lot better. I don't know if it was the Jets, so I don't know how much stock we can put into that game. Sam Darnold was absolutely god awful. So he was pretty much just giving us, hey, you guys can have this. He was giving us the game. Brock Osweiler, look, a lot of people are down on Brock Osweiler, and a lot of people trashing Brock. Listen, Brock Osweiler has to do a lot for me to trash him because it's not his fault. He shouldn't even be in the game. So, if Brock Osweiler go out there and play bad, I'm not for to be hard on Brock. I'm not for to trash Brock like everybody else doing. Brock Osweiler is 2-2. So, I think if you would have told me that Brock would have came in the game and we would have been 2-2, I would have took that. So.
See, that was the same thing I was thinking when I was watching the game, and I saw a bunch of Dolphin fans that were giving praise to our defense. But I was also it's I don't understand Dolphin fans to a degree because they will look at this type of performance versus a bad Jets team and a rookie quarterback that's really struggling, and they will try to translate that to better quarterbacks. Like there's Dolphin fans right now that actually think that we're gonna hold the Green Bay Packers to the same points that we gave the Jets. And when it doesn't happen, the comments in the comment section are almost going to be absolutely hilarious. Like you're gonna have people like like the delusion that I see on a game to game basis from Dolphin fans is hysterical. It's like they don't learn from mistakes. I saw Dolphin fans after Osweiler had that decent game where I think he threw 4 touchdowns and 2 picks. I saw Dolphin fans like, let's get rid of Tannenhill. Osweiler's our quarterback, and I'm like, whoa, that's one game. Can we have a bigger sample size? And now they're like, forget him, get Tannenhill back, get this bum off our team. It's kind of funny to watch the meltdowns that happen to fans that haven't gathered that one game isn't a big enough sample size to understand what's going on.
Well, if you look at the numbers, Brock Osweiler hasn't been that bad. I mean, he's pretty much putting up the same numbers that Ryan Tannehill was putting up his first 5 games. And one thing Brock hasn't done, he hasn't lost us any game. You know what I mean? He hasn't had that 3 interception game where he completely have a meltdown. And he hasn't played that bad. When you look at the games that we lost, it wasn't because of Brock Osweiler. So I think it's kind of hard on Brock. You know what I mean? And think about this. When Brock came in the game, Isaiah and Ronald, if you would have told me that Albert Wilson would have went out, Kenny Stills would have been hurt, he would have lost two offensive linemen, and the defense would have just completely had a meltdown, and he still would have went 2-2. I mean, I don't know what we were expecting from Brock Osweiler, to be honest with you.
I disagree to a point because Brock really hasn't done us any favors, and Gase has taken undue heat for his play calling. But man, when you go back over the all 22 and start looking at the throws, like that 3rd and 1 where Brock takes the sack, we have a wide open hot read to his right with Nick O'Leary, with Danny Amendola setting a fucking beautiful pick route, and there was no one standing around Nick O'Leary. And when you look at it from the end zone cam, from what Brock's looking at, he never looks at anywhere but the offensive line for the blitz. And you can see that when you come up to the offensive line, you see them already stacked with the blitz. So you throw to the hot read. He didn't even look for a hot read. He's standing back there like, dope. I'm gonna wait for the hitch and go to come open like I got 20 years. But when you stand at the offensive line and before you give the hike, you're looking both sides. You can see the guy standing right there in the B gap waiting to blitz. You're like, and you know that Juwan James is out of the game, and you have Zach Stirrup. The last time we saw Zach Stirrup, he played the last game last year against the Bills at left tackle, and he didn't touch that Hughes, that defensive end, last name Hughes for the Bills. He was making David Fells run for his life every fucking snap. So we know that the guy's a 6'8" Hulk who can't grab or touch anything unless they bounce off of him. And he's got these guys running around him. It's like you're going to sit there and you're holding the ball for hitch and go, but you have Nick O'Leary standing by himself in the flat with the blocker in front of him, and you know it's a hot read. I mean, I know what you're trying to say. It's like it's Brock Osweiler. You shouldn't have high expectations that he's going to do anything. But I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean, I've never played quarterback. I was a defensive tackle, offensive right guard in high school. I never went to a big college, and then I played junior college football. But fuck, man. I mean, even me, I know when you line up to line of scrimmage and you got 7 in the box and they're looking at a blitz, at least look for the hot read. But don't just, I mean, he just takes the ball, walks backwards a couple of steps, looks at the offensive line, just like, oh, here I am, just sack me. I'm 6'8". I can't see shit. I'm not gonna throw the ball anywhere. Just sack me on 3rd and 1, dude.
Well, let me ask you. Well, Ron, I got a quick question for you. If I would have told you coming into this season that Ryan Tannehill was going to get hurt, right? Brock Osweiler was going to have to step in the game. He was going to lose Kenny Stills for a game. He was going to lose Albert Wilson. He was going to have an inconsistent Devontae Parker. His offensive lineman was going to come in and out the game, and he still was going to lead this team to 2-2. You would have took that, right?
Can I jump in here?
Go ahead.
If you would have told me that we were going to come into a season, we were going to go through the draft, pass every single quarterback that was in this draft, and we were going to come out in a season with Ryan Tannehill, who's missed 19 games, and Brock Osweiler, I would say fire everybody. Fire all of them, because that is the dumbest plan on earth. Whoever thought of this plan, whoever came up with this plan, if they even said the name Brock, if they even came out of their mouth with the word bro, they need to be slapped. Because that was the dumbest plan I ever seen in my life.
Do you remember what I told you guys when we did the preseason, off-season podcast, the first podcast, and we had signed Brock Osweiler? Didn't I say since we signed him that he's going to be the first one off the bench?
Yeah.
Everybody said I was crazy, but the moment we signed that fool, I told everybody. Adam Gase was there in Denver when they drafted that fool in the 2nd round, dude. So he was part of those scouts and all those opinions that you get in the war rooms to say, hey, yeah, this is our guy. He was there for that. If you were to tell me that Ryan Tannehill was going to go down and we were going to play Brock Osweiler, I could give Jay a little bit of credit. You're right. I wouldn't have took 2. I would have maybe took 2-2, but I'd have been shocked that we actually had 2 wins out of the 4 games.
Right. Absolutely.
But I mean, but like Jay said, we haven't really seen the meltdown games, the turnover machine that Brock is.
We haven't.
But when you look at it and you break it down, it's because Gase is doing a fucking fantastic job handcuffing the wide receivers, handcuffing Brock Osweiler. He's basically saying, when you come to the line, we're going to call this play. You're only going to have one read. Find that read. If you see single coverage on a wide receiver, then that's going to be your play. But we're asking him, like me, I'm asking him, like, find the open guy. See the field, throw to the open guy. You don't know, because you could draw up whatever plan you want, but when you go into the game, you don't know the defense coordinator, what he's going to, move pieces around. Like, they realized we weren't going to throw a deep ball. So the defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, he basically has Jamal Adams. He's playing in the box the whole time. Why is he doing that? Well, because he's gonna monitor the RPO plays, where it's a play action out of the shotgun. And if it's not a run, he's going to blitz, or he's going to cover the running back or tight end, and he's going to nullify him. And that's exactly what Jamal Adams did. Because they're not afraid to take. They're not afraid that Kenny Stills can run his go route or his post, but he's not going to get the ball thrown. And when he does throw it, how many times has Brock actually completed them? I mean, Devontae Parker was wide open. He missed him.
Yep.
Kenny Stills wide open. He fucking threw it 5 yards. I don't know where he was throwing it. It was 5 yards overthrown, and I don't know where the location he was throwing it to.
Danny Amendola was open, and he would have had to been Shaquille O'Neal on a ladder to catch the ball.
Jesus Christ! I mean, it's like.
Well, you guys,
the guys
are something?
Open. The guys are open though.
Well, you
and
know
that's
something,
what's bothering me. And if Gase was smart, I mean, what do we got to lose? Like you said, we're probably lucky we're even 2-2 with Brock as the quarterback. Because if you take out the one bad meltdown of the defense, our defense is handing the win. All they're doing is begging for some kind of play. But Gase, for all the good job he's doing to holding Brock in containment from the turnover machine, what Isaiah is trying to say is why ain't he using Grant the way we were using Wilson? Same skill set, same Brock. Actually, Grant's probably got an extra gear that Wilson doesn't have. If you look at that one, that left side fucking shovel pass that he threw to Wilson, Grant come from the other side of the field, caught up to him, slowed down. They did their high five at the 17-yard line, going in for the touchdown.
Right.
I noticed that a lot of people on Twitter and Facebook are using that as their background thing, the high five shit.
Yeah.
But we got Kenyon Drake gets 3 carries against the Jets. We're letting, and I know Gore is doing a better job of finding holes. I kind of agree with Jay on that. He is doing a better job taking what the defense is giving him. But my God, look at those hits that poor dude's taking. He's 35 years old. He's running against a fucking brick wall. And Drake can make people miss and not take those big hits. So why not use him? Where's Grant? Where's Stills? I mean, I know Stills is still nursing his ankle or whatever it was that he got hurt. But I mean, shit, dude, do something. And Parker out of the slot has been fucking dangerous. I never thought that would happen, but Isaiah's been saying it for the last year and a half. Try him on the fucking slot. What do you got to lose before you give up and throw him away for nothing?
You want to know something funny? Last game we used Parker all around the field, right?
Right.
And then
mostly in the slot.
And then the next game, guess what? He gets
he's back outside.
Yeah.
And he's back outside and 2 targets.
I don't understand this thought process. Okay, last year Kenyon Drake showed you exactly what he can do as a feature back, right? You know what we do with him this season?
Second string, make him a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver all year.
Like this, I'm trying to understand how we find things that work, and then we just stop doing them.
Remember the first game, the 2-back set with the Drake and Gore on the field at the same time?
Yep.
The Raider game where Drake led Kenyon on his shovel pass to the right for a touchdown, and then Gore beautifully, masterfully fucking blocked 2 guys where Wilson just went untouched up to the left sideline. They were leading the jet sweeps and the shovel passes. Gore and Drake blocking. Why can't they be on the field at the same time? They're both elite blockers. They're both good pass catchers. And literally since Wilson's been hurt, that's what Adam Gase is game planning Kenyon at right now. That's why he's only getting 3 carries, is because he's lining up at wide receiver. He lined up outside as the Z. He's lined up in the slot. He's lined up next to the tight ends. He's basically a wide receiver. Why aren't we using Grant in that position instead?
Doesn't make any sense.
It don't. And we're not using our talent. And even with Brock, I mean, if you're going to throw, he can't throw more than 10 yards accurately because there's no arm strength. Why not, when we're running those plays to Amendola and Parker in the wide receiver bubble screens, why isn't that Drake or Grant?
Holy
If we're running a slant, why isn't the slant being Grant? Because he can do what Wilson does. He's one juke away from taking it to the house.
Wow.
I'm ready for David Fells, who has a bigger arm. He's mobile. He can throw on the bootlegs that can help the pass protection, especially with right now. We don't know if just Juwan James is even going to play or healthy. They haven't said what he's going to do. So we might be starting Stirrup again at right tackle.
Oh my
And
God.
and Larson is probably out at left guard, so we might be starting that Wesley Johnson or Isaiah Isaac Asiata at left guard. So we're going to have two backup or third string offensive linemen. At least throw a quarterback that, if you're going to sacrifice at the altar, at least have the guy have a chance that can run around, move around.
Right.
But
I
it
would.
goes back to the Gase. I don't have a problem with Gase except for his player, how he uses his player personnel. Like, we didn't know what Drake had until we had no other healthy running backs on the roster last year.
Yep.
We don't know what Grant is until Parker's gone, Stills is gone, and all we have is Jarvis Landry. So then
Yep.
all of a sudden, Grant gets a couple of uses. He shows that he can beat a number one corner in Malcolm Butler. But
Can you?
now we're back to he's the fourth option behind Danny Amendola, Devontae Parker, Nick O'Leary, AJ Derby. Like, he's the last option of all these guys that we have.
Yep. Which makes no sense.
And how great has Cam Wake been, dude? He gets
Oh,
his highest run stopping grade in his career, 80-something.9.
and
He gets six pressures and 2 sacks.
he absolutely came alive in that Jet game, man. 2 huge sacks. Him and Akeem Spence.
And getting held, dude, the whole way.
Yeah. But he's been getting held the entire season. I mean, I can show you games where goddamn offensive linemen look like they're lassoing him and shit. And
Yeah.
he doesn't get the call. I don't understand that whatsoever.
Hooking him all the way around the neck like he's trying to give him a piggyback ride.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. And the refs just don't call it. I don't get that concept when you have a guy and these are supposed to be the rules. You're supposed to keep your hands in a certain position, and how these guys are allowed to damn lasso a defensive end coming around the corner is beyond me. And I'm just hopeful and thankful that Cam Wake hasn't sustained an injury with some of this stupid shit that they're being allowed to do.
Exactly. I think that's how he got hurt earlier in the year.
Yeah.
They chop blocked him and never called the penalty.
Yep. All right. So the elephant in the room, man. Lambeau Field. Uh, I was looking at some pictures of Lambeau Field yesterday, and this is anti-Florida weather that's going on in Green Bay.
Yeah,
And
26 degrees, dude. Fuck.
oh my God! So you have a warm weather team going into a cold Lambeau Field, and to me this spells run the goddamn ball, pound this Packer defense.
Yeah. Put fucking Akeem Spence out there at fucking fullback if you have to.
Yeah. Put that. I fully expect Kenyon Drake and Grant and Frank Gore. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for some reason. And even Ballage. I expect 50 carries between those three running backs tomorrow. There is
Actually, that would be a good thing to use, is have Ballage and Gore as the running backs, two big bruisers,
yeah.
and throw Kenyon out there as a wide receiver option.
Yeah. Run.
I mean,
Go ahead.
well, for me, I don't care if the Dolphins are playing in the rain, the snow. I don't care if it's sunny South Florida, whatever the weather is. The key to the Miami Dolphins' success is running the ball. They don't have an elite quarterback, so I don't care what the weather is. They have to run the ball. And listen, this Green Bay Packers team is beatable. I watched Chad Henne. Go into Lambeau Field and beat Aaron Rodgers. So this whole talk with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers is unbeatable. We don't even have a shot. I'm not buying that. To me, in my
I agree.
Now,
I agree.
now,
Go ahead.
You guys.
But
Yeah, so I'm not buying that. I seen Brown. I remember I think it was the last game we played. I remember Ronnie Brown having a good day against the Green Bay Packers. Brandon Marshall ate a little, and and I think this team is better coached. I think the last time we played them, it was the what's the guy that always clapped during the field goal? Why's his name escaping me right now? Every time.
And Wake had 3 sacks.
Yeah, Wake had three sacks. So this is a very winnable game in my opinion. I think the problem that I have with the Dolphins, and this game is going to tell me a lot about the Dolphins, because if you want to be if we're playoff contenders, we shouldn't go up there to Lambeau Field and get our ass thrashed.
I think we're actually going to have 7.
If we go to Lambeau Field and get our ass thrashed, leave me alone. Don't talk to me about the playoffs. Just don't bother me. Don't bother me about the playoffs.
Yeah, don't even mention playoffs. I don't want to hear
it. Hey, I just want to see us. I want to see us competitive. I want to see us in the game. I want to see our defense step up. This is a very winnable game if we can just contain Aaron Rodgers. I like Xavier Howard on Adams. You know, Cobbs is a player that I believe is kind of past his prime or whatever. But I like our defense. I think our secondary matches very well with their wide receivers. If we
you know that Burke's not going to use the coverage that everybody's been talking about is have Howard follow the best receiver. He ain't going to do that. He didn't do it against Hopkins.
Right.
He ain't going to do it against Adams either. Because a couple of coverages we had T.J. McDonald lined up covering Hopkins.
That's a disaster.
And just the way Burke is, doesn't like having those guys follow the best player. And our defense, scheme-wise, calls for that. It calls for man everywhere he goes, Meg coverage. That you take your number one corner and you identify whatever the other team's number one target is. And wherever that guy goes, that guy is his shadow.
Right.
Burt doesn't call that coverage.
This game here, Isaiah and Rona, this is a very weird game. I remember 2 years ago, I was sitting at home with my dad, and we was really struggling in 2016, and we was about to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. I told my dad, I got a feeling that we was going to win that game. My dad said, hell no. It's no way we're going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. We started off 1-4. We was looking absolutely trash. And that's the game that Jay Ajayi took off. Remember, that was the game that nobody gave us a chance to win. That was the game that everybody said we was going to get our ass strapped. The Steelers was going to tear us a new ass.
We lined up 2 tight end set, handed to Jay Ajayi, and we pounded it down their throats.
And we won that game. I remember last year in 2017, people said we wasn't going to beat the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
Actually, the Atlanta Falcons is way more talented than the Green Bay Packers. I mean, you take Aaron Rodgers away from that team, I think that's a 2-3 win team. And I think our defense is way more talented this year than our defense was last year. Now, on the offensive side of the ball is what concerns me. Brock Osweiler. Listen, to go back on Brock Osweiler, you know why I haven't been down on Brock Osweiler? Because in 2016, when Matt Moore was playing bad, I trashed Matt Moore. In 2017, when Jay Cutler came in here, I trashed Jay Cutler. Now in 2018, it's a repeated cycle. So to me, it all boils down to our quarterback that can't stay on the field. So I'm not for the trash every quarterback that comes in, because it's not their fault they even playing. So this is if even if Brock Osweiler go out there and throw 3-4 interceptions, I'm still not gonna go on Facebook and trash the man, because he shouldn't be even on the goddamn field. So if you're Adam Gase, protect Brock Osweiler. I know Miami Dolphins fans, they're kind of upset because Osweiler can't hit the deep ball. Play into his strength. If you
Yeah,
know Brock Osweiler can't, why in the hell are we throwing the ball 60 yards down the field to slow ass Danny Amendola? It makes no sense to me. That's a fireable defense right there. Why Jakeem Grant? And listen, that was a terrible pass. That was a terrible pass. But still, you can't have Brock Osweiler throwing a deep pass, a quarterback that's already is not accurate, throwing a deep ball to Danny Amendola, a guy who's not a speedy wide receiver. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
it
We
does.
got to get Ken Drake at the ball. And we got to put the ball in Devontae Parker's hand. I mean, if we're going to throw the ball to Devontae Parker one time a game, we should have just traded him. I
Yes,
mean, what was the point of even keeping the guy if you're going to give him one
it,
target a game?
it made no sense.
I
So,
think they were going to trade him, but they had injuries to both. They had to throw Wilson on IR, and Kenny Stills was out a couple of weeks. So I think that's what the whole Thursday night game was. Feature him, throw him the ball fucking 12 times. He catches like 9 of them for shitload of yards. I think that was the plan until we had injuries, but I still would have done the trade in the first place. We got fielded by a whole bunch of teams, and they were actually offering us the third round pick that we were looking for earlier in the year.
man, if we would have gave this guy up, we in this draft, and I always tell people, sometimes you will see me talk a player up. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I understand what we gave up to get him. We gave up a first round draft pick to get this man. So I'm looking at the ROI, or the return on investment. If we would have gave this man up for a third round pick, and then he went to another team and showed out, because I could just see it right. I could fucking see it right now. Let's say we trade this man and he goes to, let's say we trade him to Detroit, right? He goes over there to Detroit or Philadelphia with Carson Wentz. And we look up, end of the season, Devontae Parker has 40 catches and 5 touchdowns. I would have been pissed out of my mind.
Not me.
You wouldn't have?
Nope. Because he's had 4 fucking years to do anything, and the best he's done is four touchdowns in 1 fucking year.
Right.
That Calvin Ridley goes to the fucking Atlanta Falcons as the 4th wide receiver, and he's already got 7 touchdowns on the year. He's a fucking rookie.
But here's the thing, though. Calvin Ridley is on a team with Julio Jones. So when I go out to play the Falcons, the number one person that I'm trying to take away is Julio Jones. I'm doubling and tripling Julio Jones. If you put me out there I'm the second guy or even a third guy, because you got Mohamed Sanu on that team too. It's a little different. Where when Devontae Parker goes on the field, he automatically takes the best receiver, the best cornerback that the other team has in most cases. So if I'm going,
not anymore. That might have been true in 2015 and 16, but that wasn't true at all anymore.
He did the same thing last year, though.
But when he played,
yeah. When he plays, because of the speed and the size that he has.
If you look at the coverages now, he's getting covered by safeties and fucking linebackers,
which is
bracket
good,
coverage,
which is good for us.
And he still can't catch the ball. He still can't get separation.
We got it. We have to find ways to get him involved. That's the reason why I think it makes all the sense in the world. If we're gonna have a guy that we're gonna target in the slot as much, it should be Devontae Parker, because he gives you that window. He gives you that bigger catch radius.
What would have happened if we would have did the trade? He goes to the Eagles.
Right.
They get him last week and they play him.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes out there and runs a pattern, and say Doug Peterson seen that he did good in the slot sometimes with the Dolphins against the Texans. And they put him out there and he runs across the middle and he gets drilled and he's out for the fucking year. Does the Eagles look good or does the Dolphins look good in that trade?
In that case, the Dolphins will look good depending on what we.
And you take that third round pick, and this coming draft is thick with 6'3", 6'4" wide receivers that can scoot like Kenny Steals. There's the 3 kids off of the Ole Miss team alone. That
Right.
Metcalf kid, the Brown kid, and the other dude, that Lang or whatever his name is. 3 dudes off that team are legit first, second round wide receivers. You have that 6'4" kid from Arizona State, Keneal Harry or whatever his name is, and there's
Right.
like 9 other dudes coming out. They're big, fast, catch touchdowns all day long. That third
My,
round pick could be that guy. Because right
my,
now, if we played our talent the way we're supposed to, just hear me out now. Jakeem Grant is the second leading receiver in the entire NFL at providing separation per pass route run. He's second in the league. The dude's
Right.
only getting 1 to 2 targets every fucking week.
Yep.
The Raider game, he gets targeted 3 times. He takes 2 of them for touchdowns. Why ain't the guy getting at least a couple more targets to see what the hell he can do? He's basically statistically wise, coverage and separation yards. He's your number 1 guy.
Yep.
So why not make him the number 1 guy? Now, if he's drawing the number 1 coverage, who's covering Stills, Parker, and Amendola? We're already seeing Amendola drawing a safety and a linebacker, and Parker's drawing a free safety and a linebacker. The linebacker's in zone underneath, and they're covering him over the top with the safety.
Right.
Who's supposed to cover fucking Kenny Stills now? You only have 1 more corner, no safeties, and 1 other linebacker. Now that by running him as the number 1, now you open the other guys up to see if they can do anything. If they can't, you know that that's time to jettison the shit out and get some guys in here that can. Because when we had Wilson, Gase was forcing Wilson down Ryan Tannehill's and Brock Osweiler's throat as the first option to throw the ball,
Yep.
whether he was covered or not. In that New England game, they were forcing the ball to him, and Amendola and Jakeem Grant were wide open all fucking day long on the film. I got sick. I had to stop watching the All 22. I couldn't take it no more because it was like literally all he had to do was look to Wilson's way. That drew the coverage to that side of the field. And by doing that, using his eyes, the other guys were one-on-one and wide open. There were times when the corner slipped down on those quick hitches that Grant was running, and the dude fell down, and Tannehill never even looked his way. And he's scrambling for his life. If you remember the plays, they were getting good pressure using twists and shit up the middle with only 4 rushers. They didn't have to blitz us. But I mean, I don't fall for this. If we traded Parker and he goes to Philadelphia or even Cowboys, they throw him like 14 targets like we did Jarvis. He catches 10 of them for 100 something yards and catches, say, at the end of the year, he's got 7 touchdowns. That wouldn't bother me. Want to know why? Because for us to do that, we'd have to target him the same amount to get the same production. And if we remember back last year, how many interceptions did it lead to targeting Devontae Parker? Just the Tampa Bay game alone was 3 interceptions. That Carolina game, we were making a comeback in the first half, and then Cutler forces it to Parker instead of throwing it to the wide open Kenny Stills, and we, instead of getting some points at the end of the second quarter, they come down and they get points instead in the 1 minute offense. But the Packers are weak on the offensive line. They don't have a legit running back. And you there?
yeah, we hear Ronnie. We hear you.
Sorry, I thought my I thought I cut out. I thought I lost connection.
No, go ahead, bro.
But we can take advantage of their weak offensive line and lack of running game as long as we do what you said. Make sure that Adams isn't going to kill us and limit the one-on-one coverage on Kiko on their tight ends because they have Jimmy Graham.
Right.
If we could do that, I think McCain and Minka can take away that rookie kid because during the week, Howard was asked what fear that he has for the Packer offense, and they were asking him how he felt about covering Adams, and he said, "Well, they have a number 83, which is that rookie Marquez Valdez that they drafted in the 5th or 6th round or whatever.
Right.
The dude's 6'4" and he can run like Kenny Stills. He got a combine speed of a 4.38 at 6'4", 220. But we cover the guys and we do our pass rush lanes. I think we got a better than a coin flip chance of beating this Packers. I'm not buying into they're so good at 3-5. That doesn't tell me that they're good.
Well, they have played some pretty tough teams though, so that
But
they're
they're beatable, like you said, though. If we can just do what we got to do, if you can limit Rodgers from scrambling and extending the play, our coverage can take out their wide receivers. Because I mean, that Valdez kid is a rookie. Jimmy Graham isn't what he used to be, but if we can keep him off of Raekwon McMillan and Kiko Alonso, we should be all right. As long as Wake and Quinn are rushing legit lanes and we're not going so wide as to create a cutback around it. And we can run the ball in that cold weather, control the clock, limit Rodgers' exposure onto the field, keep him cold instead of warm and loose. We could do. I'm not saying we could win big time, but we can do 20 points if we're using our skill players legitimately. At least that's how I see it.
Yep, I agree.
Sorry for
Isaiah,
taking the
Isaiah,
microphone for so long.
no, that's not a problem. Isaiah, you there?
Did we lose Isaiah?
I don't know.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hey, can you guys hear me now? Yeah. You guys hear me? Oh my god. All right. All right. So for some reason, my other laptop was messing up. Um, but yeah, I think the biggest key in this game going against this Packer team is definitely running the football, establishing the run, and staying out of 3-and-out situations and continuing to put our defense on the field over and over and over again. That's going to be absolutely imperative. Even if Aaron Rodgers is having an off game, the best way to wake him the hell up is to continue to give him the ball over and over and over again. Because eventually, with a special quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, he's gonna make some plays on you if you continue to put the ball in his hands. So we have to. It's imperative for us to go out there, pound this rock, keep Aaron Rodgers on that sideline as much as possible. No turnovers, definitely no turnovers. Fumbles, interceptions, that's absolutely a no-no. And limit the 3-and-outs. Those are the biggest keys in the game for us. And sure, tackling, of course, but on the offensive side of the ball, man, just those are my keys. What are you guys' keys for this game?
Well, I think first of all, let me say this: I've been hard on Adam Gates.
Right,
I have said that I don't think Adam Gates is a people's person.
right,
I don't know if he's a leader of men. I don't know if he know how to handle superstar players. Basically, what I'm trying to say, I've been hard on Adam Gates, but
right.
if he finds a way to pull this game off, and he leads this team to 6-4, I don't give a damn how you feel about Adam Gates. You have to give that. You have to respect what that man is doing this year. You know, I have seen the reason why I'm not so hard on Adam Gates this year, because his time being in Miami, I have seen this man take complete garbage and make them look respectable, make them look like respectable quarterbacks. And if he finds a way, and every head coach needs that signature win. And I'm gonna say this: if he finds a way to, if we win in Green Bay, he has to be a top 3 candidate for Coach of the Year. I don't care how inconsistent this defense have played. I don't care what you think about Brock Osweiler. I don't care how you feel about this team, if we're going to make the playoffs or not. If he leads this team to 6-4 with everything that has occurred this season, to me, in my opinion, he may be a top 3 head coach of the year. Now, all that said, I just don't see us winning this game. I just don't see it. I think we're going to keep it competitive. I just don't believe that we have the offensive score with the Green Bay Packers. We got a guy in King Drake that we're not using enough, in my opinion. We got a wide receiver core that, and this is why I'm not so hard on the wide receiver, because we haven't had consistent quarterback play. You know, Every time these guys get chemistry with a quarterback, there's another body behind center. So how can we even know if we got a good head coach when the man haven't had his starting quarterback in 3 years? How can we say that Adam Gase is a bad coach or a good coach? I mean, I know everybody wants the man fired, and I'm sorry to go back to this, Isaiah. I know you're asking me about the game. But how can we really say that Adam Gase is a bad coach? Look at Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, right, Isaiah? He lost Jimmy G. Everybody was saying that the San Francisco 49ers was playoff contenders. This guy loses Jimmy G, and the 49ers only win 2 games, and everybody's still talking how great of a mind, how great of an offensive-minded coach, how great of a coach Kyle Shanahan is. But you got a guy in Adam Gase that have lost his quarterback 3 years in a row. Jay Cutler. I mean, you're talking about some of the worst quarterbacks to ever play this game.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Isaiah. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Let me jump into this, though. All right. So what we've seen from Ryan Tannehill has been mediocre quarterback play, right? His best year to me was 2014. 2014 was hands down 27 touchdowns. I think it's 14 interceptions or 27 and 12. I think that was his best year, right? So coming into this season, Adam Gase has not had a quarterback, hadn't had that mediocre quarterback for 19 games. He was out. He went down in the Arizona game. He came back. He got injured again, and then he missed the entire football season. And that's the reason why we ended up with Jay Cutler, right? So you have a mediocre quarterback that misses 19 football games, and now you come into like if Jimmy Garoppolo had shown you that, listen, I'm mediocre. I'm going to get hurt at the tail end of this season. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to get hurt and I'm going to miss an entire other season. And you come out and you don't prepare at all. Your preparation is Brock Osweiler, a quarterback that even the Cleveland Browns said, nah, bro, we good. We good. No, you know what? We good. Just go the hell away. We straight. Nah, we all right. That's your plan. That's your backup plan for a quarterback that was mediocre to begin with, that had missed an entire season and 3 games the previous season. In a draft that was loaded with potential quarterbacks coming out. This is your plan.
Now, I agree with you, Isaiah, but you got to remember, Adam Gase was brought to this team to turn Ryan Tannehill, to turn Ryan Tannehill into that elite quarterback that the Miami Dolphin organization believed that he was. He believed that he is. If you look at Ryan Tannehill on the field,
right,
they win. The problem is he can't stay his ass on the field. So when you look at Adam Gase and Ryan Tannehill, whenever Ryan Tannehill plays, I think they're 11-3, 11-2. I mean, the first year that the longest Ryan Tannehill has played with Adam Gase, the team made the playoff. So when you look at Adam Gase, if you want to be completely honest, he has done what he was supposed to do. The problem is that Ryan Tannehill can't stay on the field. And I don't know if you can fault the guy because Ryan Tannehill gets injured. Now, I agree with what you're saying that the Miami Dolphins should have drafted a quarterback. You shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, but if you got a quarterback your first year, you go to the playoff. And some people believe if Ryan Tannehill wouldn't have got hurt, the Miami Dolphins would have beat Pittsburgh. Now, I don't believe that. I wouldn't buy in that. But some people believe that. So if you're the head coach, you got in your mind, let me put as much talent around this guy because I have already seen that I can win with Ryan Tannehill. Let me go out there and put some talent around this guy. And listen, there's no need for me to get a first-round pick because the moment that Ryan Tannehill plays bad, which we know he's going to be inconsistent at times, the crowd is going to be screaming for the first-round pick quarterback. You see it in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. You've seen it in with Cleveland with Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield. And you're talking about Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Tyrod Taylor, he's a decent quarterback. So they're damn sure was going to be screaming if Ryan Tannehill would have played bad. So
can I jump in on that?
Go ahead.
On that note of the quarterbacks,
Right, go ahead.
We saw a bunch of guys like Baker, Rosen, Lamar Jackson as decent quarterbacks. My take is I think Gase only saw one guy in Baker Mayfield who went first overall to the Browns as the only legitimate quarterback that he felt could be better than what Ryan Tannehill offers. And so if you don't really believe a guy that can be equal to or better than, why invest heavily? Because we would have had to trade up to get Rosen, even though I don't think either one of the Joshes is a decent quarterback.
I completely understand that sentiment. Going into this draft, I had two quarterbacks that I felt had that it factor. And there was one guy, and I forget his name, that I thought would be a good guy to take in the back half of the draft. There was two guys I liked. It was Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson. And then there was this big kid that I kept watching the film on. I forget his name. Damn, I forgot his name. He's like 6'4", 6'5". I don't even know who he plays for now. But I saw some things that we would be able to do with him as well. So
are you talking about the Oklahoma State kid that went to the Steelers in the third?
No.
Mason Rudolph?
No, I didn't like Mason Rudolph. There was another kid. I don't know what his name is. I forget his name. I'm gonna go back in my pictures, but I posted some video of him. He had some character issues that probably knocked him out of being a top tier quarterback. But I liked his arm strength. I liked the accuracy, and I just thought he played with a fire and it. That's what I'm always looking for when I'm looking at quarterbacks, guys who command the huddle, guys who are good at making reads and going through their reads fast, arm strength, accuracy, a little bit of mobility, but mobility isn't like I used to think it used to be. I used to think mobility was like essential, but it depends on the team that you go to. And a lot of times mobility can actually hurt a quarterback. I wanted to see a Lamar Jackson come into this system with what we do and see what would happen. And I think he would have been an awesome insurance policy for this team. We got a 30-year-old quarterback that's now been hurt twice, actually 3 times now. I think it would have been fantastic for Dolphin fans looking forward to have a guy like that waiting and learning the game. And
because our system is the same as what he was running in college at Louisville. It's the Perkins Earhart system. That's what Gase is running with tweaks from Mike Martz.
Yep.
That's basically the system we're running. That's why I liked Lamar Jackson too, because at Louisville, He was my QB too behind Baker Mayfield because they both process the game fast. They look, they can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if it's not there, they have the feet to move around and move and do it. The other guys are stationary like that. Rosen, he's stationary. He's not maneuverable, and he didn't have the anticipation for the routes. It's like Brock. Like what's wrong with Brock right now? He has to see it first, then release it. The guys are already out of their breaks. This system calls for the dudes that can know where the guy's supposed to go, and you're already throwing it before the guy is turning around.
That's like Josh Allen. That guy's fucking terrible at anticipation. God damn. He's got a cannon for an arm, but oh man, the anticipation is absolutely awful.
But I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was trying to agree with you on the Lamar fits the system because it's literally the same system. It's all the principles are the same in the Earhart Perkins system. And that's what we're running as a pro. And it's a complicated system because there's multiple combo routes for almost every single route run on the field, even at the tight end position. That's why people are down on Gesicki. But the guy's only a rookie, and he's trying to comprehend 5 routes when you're running up the ISO thing. There's more than just running straight up and turning around. You have to be able to know the coverage that you're in, the placement of your other guys on the field also, and know if you're breaking right or left. The quarterback has to be on the same page. And then he's having to try and block, and he's not a blocker. Gase wants a complete player. That's why I don't understand why we're not breaking the system down for Gesicki and using him as the big wide receiver in the red zone, especially when we were without Parker the whole time.
You have Mike Gesicki out there getting one target.
And he had some good, nice routes that he run against the Texans, and he was open, but they just it's 1, 2, 3, and then if he does one stupid move where he's trying to jump, then Gase goes away from him or pulls him off the field. Then there's no patience letting him be a rookie. And you're seeing the patience with the kid that I preferred over Gesicki in the draft, that Goddard in Eagles. Well, he only has a handful of 5 or 6 plays that he's memorizing, and he's not being asked to block. He's out there running. He only comes in on the field in the 2 tight end set, and the Ertz or the other guy is doing the blocking, that Selleck kid. We're asking fucking Gesicki to block Pro Bowl defensive ends one-on-one to set the fucking edge so we can run on the backside. He's getting clobbered.
Shit, Dallas Goedert has 3 touchdowns for the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Yep, running simple in routes and drags. All we had to do is to have Gesicki run the same ones. And then Brock can't hit the broadside of a barn, but Gesicki's catch radius could save him.
Yep. Chris Herndon is another one. He's got 3 touchdowns. I don't. It's kind of frustrating. I don't quite understand how every other team and other franchises are bringing these young guys into their teams, and they're utilizing them and getting catches,
opportunities,
getting them exactly, opportunities. And you look at Mike Gesicki's stats right now. What are they?
He's not that bad, but it's not good. It's literally 1 to 2 catches a game, and that's about it.
He's got 16 catches in the game through 7. Well, he's got the same amount of catches.
I just don't think he has any red zone targets, though. That's the problem.
I think I remember 1 red zone target, and that was that awfully thrown pass that was picked off.
Yep, Ryan Tannehill threw it inside instead of outside, low and not high. Yeah.
You got a 6'6" receiver, and you throw the ball inside low when you have all that leverage on the outside.
Well, the problem with Gesicki is he's not a physical tight end. He's not very aggressive. He's not a great route runner. He doesn't use his skill set very well. And to me, whenever he has the ball and he's running after the catch, you just always expect some kind of collision. He's going to get hit hard, or he jumps in the air, try to hurdle over guys when it's unnecessary. He just seemed like a very awkward tight end, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but it's just something about him that is. It just seemed awkward. You know, I feel like he need to put on a little weight. You see Rob Gronkowski. He's a big, tall wide receiver, but he's thick. You know, he's a thick guy. Pause. But you know, it's with Gesicki, he's tall, he's slim, he's skinny. I think we need to go back and
just throwing the ball in the end zone.
Exactly.
That's all you have. We did it in training camp, and not even Xavier Howard can cover him in the red zone. Screw trying to have him block on the backside to seal the edges. That's all nice and dandy, but he's not a blocker. That's why we claim Nick O'Leary, and Nick O'Leary is like as good or better than Marquise Gray. That's why he's on the IR. He got hurt, blew his Achilles tendon. But if we're going to use two tight ends, why not use Gesicki as a route runner? Bring him on the field in the red zone. We're fumbling the ball in the red zones. We're kicking field goals because we're trying these gimmicky. Just throw the damn ball to the big guy. And I don't understand why we're not using Parker in that same manner.
Yep.
Get him in the slot. Run the combo pick route with whoever you want in the slot with him. But put Parker and Gesicki next to each other in the bunch in the slot, and then have one go in the drag and the other one run the out route. Now the coverage is going to run into each other because they're crossing halfway up the route. Run 3 steps, and then one goes one direction, the other one goes the other direction. Whoever's the wide open guy can throw the ball. I don't understand. You don't have to be on target for a 6'6", 250 guy that can jump. He broke records for the jump in the combine. Parker is 6'3". He has a jump too. I mean, I don't understand it. We get in the red zone, and then we hand the ball off 3 times, and if it's no touchdown, we're kicking the field goal. Or Ryan and Brock will throw an interception in the fucking red zone. Like, what's the point? What are we doing? But this Packer team is vulnerable. There are only 3 wins, and they didn't win against very good teams. If we can get the pass rush dialed up with that weak offensive line, and their best defensive tackle, that Daniels guy, he's out. He's already been ruled out. So if we can't get Asiata in there and just let him just bulldoze some dude in front of him instead of trying to have him run this exotic pass protection crap, just run the ball. Gore is doing a good job. Give him some holes to run through. Lead it with Nick O'Leary. He's been doing a stellar job blocking. I'll be posting a bunch of videos, though, of the breakdowns for these quarterbacks that are already starting. I posted one from Mark Schofield. He does the Inside the Pylon. He does the podcast for the New England Patriots. He's a quarterback guru guy. I posted one already on the one dude, that Matt Rippon.